2 days. So we got 98.6% collection efficiency till 20th March, and we are almost now in a fighting mode with the current challenges in the last 2 days. But however, we are very, very confident that we can overcome these challenges as we have overcome many more challenges in the past. So as you all know that we are a rural MFI and 96% of our borrowers are from rural areas, and this year fortunately the monsoon is very, very good, and as a result of that the yield is great, and our borrowers are like they're getting very good wages and they're doing quite well. But this is very unfortunate whatever has happened, and as a result like this year particularly in most of the rural branches like we have seen the highest collection efficiency than before. So, however, and we are just looking at like the collection efficiency in rural branches, and this year like most of the rural branches like we have got 100%, and some almost 99% of the rural branches like they have 99.8% of the collection efficiency because agriculture activity is doing very well, and again like dairy. Of course, like in the last 10 years, the price of the milk got doubled. And again, like this year, once again, like the price of the milk has increased almost by 20%. So as a result, like the income of our borrowers has significantly increased. And this is the harvest time. So as a result, like whatever the impact that we are seeing, the urban areas, like our borrowers, economic activity got impacted. But however, like the rural employment, like we have seen that like absolutely there is no change. So they have been going for the work and they are getting their wages. And again, like the second most important activity being dairy. So unlike during demonetization time, what has happened is most of our borrowers who sell milk, who supply milk to the milk collection centers, during that time, like they did not get their bills paid by the milk collection centers. But now what is happening is like all the agricultural laborers, they are getting their wages. Like number one, they are going for the work and they are getting their wages, and like this is the peak time. So in a normal time, like when they go for weeding and all, they get 200, 250. But right now, like this is the harvest time, so they get almost like 500 and 600 rupees because like they go at 6:30 in the morning and they work till 6:30. They do double shift, and like this is the time like they get the highest wages. So almost like the rural employment is like very much intact. And again, like one more thing that we have to observe is like wherever the corona positive cases, so far like it's a kind of urban. All positive cases, at least like most of the cases, even Karnataka, for example, so the positive case reported in is urban, Gulbarga. So like there is no positive case that got reported in rural. And again, like fortunately, like so far there is no positive case got reported with our borrowers. So as such, like the scariness like is not there in rural areas, like it has become a kind of urban phenomenon. So borrowers are still going for the work and like they're getting their wages from agriculture and also from dairy. So and again, like in our case, 96% of the borrowers are from rural areas. So as such, like it was very much intact like till 20 years. But again, in the last 2 days, particularly this week, like from Monday, so there has been so much of change in terms of logistics. We are facing problems in terms of our employees going to the borrowers, like in terms of reaching out to the borrowers. So particularly in districts where there is a curfew, where there is a lockout, so we are facing all kinds of problems from the police, because wherever like there is a check post, the police are not letting our employees go to travel to the villages, so they are stopping them. For example, like so we have branches in MP and Rajasthan border, So we have MP staff working in Rajasthan, and we have like Rajasthan staff like working in MP. So yesterday, for example, like some 15 staff like they belong to MP, but they work in Rajasthan. So last weekend, like they went to MP, and they were not allowed to travel back to Rajasthan. So like it was very, very difficult for us to really conduct collections. So we were to arrange staff like from other branches. So these Banswara and also Danpur and also Bagidora branches, like it was very, very, very difficult because these people were waiting at the border of MP throughout the day, and they did not let them travel to Rajasthan because they were asking for a proof that like they belong to Rajasthan, whereas like they don't belong to Rajasthan, like they belong to MP. So similarly, wherever like there is a lockdown, wherever like there is a curfew, so we are facing huge logistics problem because the police are not letting our staff to go to villages. Wherever like they see them, like there are few incidents like the police are simply beating the staff. And of course, like we are facing huge problem in Rajasthan, and we are also facing huge problem in Telangana. Of course, like this problem is not very severe. For example, in Andhra Pradesh, like by 10 o'clock, we got 100% on-time recovery. So overall, like yesterday, still some branches like they were not able to update because like they were to start collections very late. Till now, like they have whatever that the branches were able to update. So like yesterday also, like we got 86% recovery. I think like whatever the reports that we have received, so the yesterday like we got 92% collection efficiency. But again, like so far it is updated. Whatever is being updated is like it is about 86% collection efficiency yesterday. But like we are continuing collections because like not even 1% of the borrowers, they express the inability to pay their installment because this is because our borrowers are from rural. So in rural, their employment is very much intact. They are getting their wages. They have absolutely no problem in terms of paying the installment. The single most problem that what we are facing at this point in time is in terms of reaching out the borrowers. But wherever like there is a serious problem where our employees are not able to travel, where they are not able to reach the borrowers, there like we have initiated branch-based collections. So what we are doing is, so we are just calling our borrowers and we are expressing our inability to reach the borrowers, and we are just motivating the borrowers to do the collection from the remaining borrowers, and we are encouraging one of the borrower along with her spouse to come to the branch and deposit the collections. And in Orissa, Jharkhand, so we were successful in terms of doing this branch-based collection. And today, like we initiated in Rajasthan and Telangana as well, and we are reimbursing the travel expenses to our borrowers. I think like because every crisis is really helping us in terms of finding some long-term issues, and it is helping us in terms of arriving at some long-term solutions. If we see like post demonetization, after that only the entire industry has moved from cash disbursement to bank. So earlier, like the whole industry was doing loan disbursement in the form of cash. So if there was no crisis, I think we should have taken almost like a few years. So we strongly believe that like our borrowers do not have bank accounts. They don't like if at all we transfer the amount to their bank accounts, there will not be, they don't agree if we choose to transfer the loan amount to bank accounts. They insist upon giving them cash only. But whereas like post demonetization, so the entire industry has shifted to a kind of like a fund transfer, and everybody stopped because we realized that like there are many leaders, and again like doing loan disbursement through cash is a kind of threat. And I think like this particular crisis will help this particular industry in terms of finding a solution, in terms of finding a solution to the cash collection. Because like there is so much of dependency. We have 25 lakh borrowers, and 25 lakh borrowers, like meeting them every 15 days or every month, and again 8,000 staff reaching out to them is a kind of mammoth task. So we need to really find an alternative, because there has to be a voluntary way by which borrowers have to come to the branch, or because cashless collections. So I think this crisis should really help us in terms of finding an alternative for the cash collections, and I think this will make us much more innovative and find a solution. And I think so we have to find something which is much more innovative. So every crisis will find us an opportunity. So crisis is definitely an opportunity for development. So we are taking this very positively. But however, we are not stopping collections. So we are motivating all our teams, and we have given them an advisory. So every staff is taking all the precautions. So we provided them all masks. We provided them sanitizers, and every branch they have the groceries, they have food in abundance, and we have taken sufficient care, and we have sufficient liquidity. So we are committed in terms of giving them whatever salaries, travel expenses, and all that. So we have lines available, and while we are continuing collections, so we have absolutely no issue in terms of liquidity. And whatever till date, so all the commitments that we have in terms of term loans and in terms of our balance sheet, so we are paying on time, and absolutely no issue in terms of liquidity. So in the last 10-15 days, I think we have availed so many limits. So to list a few, I think so we got 50 crores from HSBC, we got 110 crores from MAS, and we got 50 crores from RBL, we got 25 crores from Stancy, we got 100 crores from Bank of Baroda. So I think just in a week's time, so we have done documentation for a few more limits from different banks, and from a liquidity perspective, so we are doing quite well. And I think whatever the experiences that we have in terms of managing several crises, and wherein we have always come up quite well, and I think in this particular situation also, so we will be able to overcome this very well. So happy to take questions. And again, in terms of, as you know, that this particular quarter, so January, there was no issue, and February there was no issue. So we have done quite well, and whatever that we have done in the previous quarters, so the entire quarter we have done in January, February. So I think January, February, 2 months, we have done almost 1,700 crore kind of, more than 1,700 crore disbursement. So we are ahead of our targets, whatever 6,700 crore guidance that we have given for the quarter. So we are ahead of that. So by February itself, we have already achieved the target of that. So by February itself, we are already 6,800 crore kind of portfolio. So from that perspective, whatever the projections that we shared for the quarter, so we already achieved. From that perspective, we are very cool. So even in terms of whatever profitability, we are very, very much on track.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who would like to ask a question, please press star and 1 at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Rishabh Shah from RS Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I just want to understand post the lockdown from the in the industrial sectors in which your borrowers are. So, is there any kind of indication that you are experiencing that with that you may not receive money say in the coming next few weeks, or if you just help me on that, it will be useful.
So from borrowers, we are not getting any indication. They have like a sufficient liquidity in terms of repaying the money. The only problem that we are facing is in terms of our staff not being able to reach them to collect the installment. So if our staff are not able to reach them, if we ask our borrowers to come to branch and deposit, to what extent like we will be successful in doing that? Because like this is a change and we have not told them before. So we are just changing now. So wherever, particularly like that in some places, some branches, the staff are getting scared. So in few places, like the police, like they're beating our staff because since there is no like this is all like the scariness, like it is more urban. So like people who have like access to internet, like we are reading so much about it. Like if you go to rural, absolutely like there is no change in their life. Like they're getting up in the morning, like they're going to fields, like they're just coming back, like it's like whatever like they experienced in November, like October, and if you go there like today, absolutely there is no change. As such, like not even 1 out of 100 is saying that we are not in a position to repay, because that is where like the pain is coming to me, because the borrower has money, the borrower is okay to pay money, but in between like we are not able to reach the borrower and we are not able to collect the installment, because like the government today so like they have created so much of scariness, and our employees, they are getting scared. So like because the parents, like they are saying that no, like please send back our children, like because they cannot be there in the branches at this point in time. We want them to come back to their homes. That is one problem that we are facing. And the second problem is like we are able to convince their parents saying that we are taking all the precautions, like because we will take care of them. Don't worry. So we will be at their whatever. So we will extend all kinds of support, and like they are able to convince their parents. We are able to motivate the staff. But having done all that, like because of this curfew and all that, even if they come to the branch also, like they have difficulty in terms of going to the branch. Today, like because at least like 20-25 of our employees, like they're beaten very badly. And like when somebody has come back to branch, like after having beaten, when other employees see them, like they're getting scared.
Okay. And the second question is, out of a total disbursements, how much percent of it is cashless?
100%. 100%. It is cashless. Not even a single rupee that we have disbursed in cash.
Okay. And that's my last question. Specifically in 3 states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu, are you facing any particular issues regionally, in face of collection or something like that currently?
Actually, the problem, whatever that I'm explaining, this problem is more in Telangana and also Rajasthan, and it is less in other states.
Achha.
And Tamil Nadu, we don't have operations.
Okay. Thank you.
Basically, like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra, like these states, like it is very peaceful. So only in Karnataka, one place, Kushal Nagar, so the police, like they're behaving very badly, like they're closing down branches and all. But otherwise, like the overall state is very, very peaceful.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kisla Upadhyay from Abacus Asset Managers. Please go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for the call. First of all, what is the official communication to the employees from us, and how would that change going ahead if the lockdown continues for the next 2 weeks?
So basically, the advisory that we have given to all our employees is like in terms of care that they have to take. We have increased the expenditure, the branch maintenance expenses. We provided like masks like to all our employees. Like there was a branch maintenance expenses that has been increased 10 times from like 2,000 rupees, like that has been increased to 20,000 rupees at the branch level. Every employee per day, like we said that like they will be given masks and per day, and again like each employee is expected to carry one full bottle of sanitizer. And again, like since employees collect cash, and again the currency, like through currency also, like they can be contaminated with the virus. We told them like they should be extremely careful while collecting cash, so they should not be using whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Like, but that case, like the first advisory went to all employees on that, and the second advisory. Yeah. And
specifically, I wanted to ask in terms of what is the communication on the employees going out for collection or staying back at the branches or at their homes in the places at least where the curfew has been implemented.
So in the curfew where we said that like because we told them that like they have to observe the curfew timings because like there is some ambiguity. So in terms of like financial services are exempted. So we consider that like we are part of financial services because like banks are allowed to function because like during demonetization and now also, so like NBFC are not mentioned. So like we are just including ourselves as part of financial services. So we consider that like we are allowed to function. And however, so in a way, like because there is no mention in terms of whether there is a repayment holiday on our loan repayments, right? For example, today I have to repay 45 crore. Right? If I don't go for collections, so then who is going to say anything? Then like because next minute as a listed company, like everybody will say that like I have not obliged on my repayment obligation, right? So neither Finance Ministry nor RBI has relaxed anything in terms of loan repayments. So which means like I have to go for collection. So this is what like I'm communicating to all my staff. So till month end, like this is the loan repayment obligation that we have. So there is no relaxation on this. As such, I'm understanding that we have to continue with the collection. So as there is no relaxation on loan repayments by us, so then like we cannot relax anything. If there is a relaxation on loan repayments by us, we can also do the same relaxation.
Correct. Okay. So
given by us to our staff.
Okay, so I should understand that.
We told all our staff that like because start early, come back early, and again like this being a challenging time, and they cannot do both collections and disbursements. And we said that like just to focus on collections, don't do like the disbursements. Go slow in terms of disbursements, but however, so even borrower side also, somebody like if they have planned something, if there is a medical care, if there is an emergency at the borrower side, so somebody might have planned something, some medical care, like if somebody has met an accident, so if somebody has to go to hospital, this is the time that like we have to help them. We cannot say that like now we are not doing disbursements. We should be at their help. Please do such disbursements. There is a clear advisory that like we are not stopping disbursements. Wherever there is a help needed for the borrowers, so like we have to do disbursements. Such disbursements we are doing. All emergency requirements of our borrowers, we are fulfilling.
Okay, ma'am. That's it from my side. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Karthik Silapa from Buena Vista Fund Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, madam. My first question is, out of your total branches or let's say your center meetings, what percentage of the branches or center meetings are impacted by these disturbance and what percentage is still functioning as per normal as of now?
So 100% of our branches, all branches are functioning, sir. None of the branches are closed down. But however, yesterday, 5 branches in Rajasthan, so we were not able to open them in the morning. So they started functioning from 2 p.m. in the afternoon because the staff were not able to reach the branches. While they were supposed to start from 6 a.m. in the morning, there was a delay. Four branches, right? 4 branches in Rajasthan. So there was a delay in terms of functioning. So, but otherwise, all branches, 100% of our branches. While a few organizations, they have taken a different stand, but all our branches, including our head office, we are operational.
And what percentage of the center meetings are actually happening as per schedule?
We are not conducting center meetings since it is not advisable. So even wherever borrowers are coming to center meetings, we are disposing of them. We are saying that we are not conducting center meetings. We will not conduct center meetings. So we are just asking borrowers to go back to their homes. We sent an advisory saying that don't conduct center meetings. It has to be door to door. It has to be door to door. But again, we said that, before the credit assistant goes to the village, at least one borrower should be able to collect from the remaining borrowers one-on-one basis, and the CA has to collect from one borrower. So, but we are not conducting center meetings. We are doing only collections.
And the collection efficiency you mentioned in your opening remark as of today is around 86%, right?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay, got it.
Till 20th, we had 98.6. So it was 99% till 20th.
Got it. Perfect. Madam, today at 8 p.m. there is supposed to...
Till 20th March, we had 99%. So whatever percentage that I mentioned, it was yesterday. But again, some branches, they were not able to because they were doing late night connections also. So they're still updating. So a few branches, yesterday's EOD is still not done.
Got it. Madam, today at 8 o'clock, I believe there is another Prime Minister's address on the same COVID-19. Assuming if the lockdown were to be extended on a much bigger scale across states, do you have a plan B in place at least for the next 1 to 2 weeks?
So then I think we will do branch-based collections. The plan B, what we have is, we have all our borrowers numbers and we have group leaders mobile numbers. So we will activate in few places of Jharkhand, Bihar. So we are already doing branch-based collections. So where there is a threat of robbery, in these places, our credit assistants, our loan officers are not allowed to carry cash. They, the group leaders, they carry cash to our branches and deposit. So we want to adopt this process across the company. So what we want to do is, from each group, one borrower along with her spouse, we will call her to come to the branch and deposit the cash, and we will reimburse her travel expenses. And maybe, depending upon the time that she's spending, if required, we will also compensate her wages. Time spent on this.
Got it. And Madam, last question. You had also listed a series of funding that you have been able to raise in the last 1 week or so. The 50 crores from HSBC, the 100 crore from Bank of Baroda, another 50 odd crores from Stancy. Typically, what is the range of the rates at which you have raised this, and how does this compare to, let's say, in third quarter of last year, which is basically the October to December quarter?
So we've not seen any increase in the cost of borrowings during this quarter, specifically in March compared to Jan or February. And typically, in case of term loans, we have done the borrowings between 9.7% to around 10%, 9.95% on the term loans. And earlier this quarter, we have done.
We could give the rates. HSBC, it was 9.6. Mars, 9.7. HSBC, it was 9.6%. Mars, 9.75. RBL, 9.9. And Stancy, 9.8. And Bank of Baroda, 9.75.
Got it. Okay, very clear. Okay, thank you, madam, and wish you and your team all the very best.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rahul Bari from Exponential Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, ma'am. I just wanted to ask one thing. You mentioned that if your own employees are not allowed, and there have been instances of police beating up some of your employees. I couldn't understand how you will encourage borrowers to visit your branches, because in a lockdown situation or in a curfew situation, and there's some ambiguity, I understand, but isn't it going against the government orders and encouraging people wrongly to first collect among themselves and then visit your branches? That's part one of the question. Second question that I wanted to really understand from you is that you said your borrowers are right now not impacted, and maybe the lockdown or the shutdown has been just about 2 days old. If this continues for a 2-3 week kind of a period, given most of the livelihoods are or the income levels are so low, and any 15-20 day kind of impact on their earnings could have a significant impact on the ability to repay. Do you see that impacting the microfinance industry overall, and specifically, how do you see the impact on urban poor versus the rural poor? Maybe that's an industry level question, but I thought maybe your views would be relevant.
Yeah. So if the lockdown continues, I'm sure that urban borrowers, their economic activity gets completely because we are already getting this problem. So urban borrowers are already raising concern that for example, there's small vegetable vendors, fruit vendors, who are working in restaurants, who have small food giants, they're already raising concern. And again, since marriages are not happening, who are part of music bands, because all ancillary activities. So even carpenters, who work as masons, painters, plumbers, they are not getting any work, right? And again, some of our borrowers' spouses who work as drivers, in Bombay and several other places, they're back. So I'm 100% sure that their incomes in urban areas get impacted, but we are not able to see it because most of these activities were intact till last week. But when we go back for the next installment in urban areas, at least 60-70% of them will raise a concern. But again, we have 4% of our borrowers from urban areas. But again, in rural areas, so far, they're still going for their daily wage labor work. Right now, what is happening is cotton and chili. It's a harvest time. So cotton, for example, if cotton is not taken out tomorrow, then you cannot delay it. You cannot postpone that. After that, you cannot take it out. It's gone. And again, cut chili, because then it's gone. And again, fortunately, because whatever this corona positive cases, so wherever they are reported, it's only urban because of whatever tourism, tourist and all, and they are not reported in rural areas. So as such, at least even whatever this lockdown, so there is no lockdown in terms of at least police are not asking these people not to go to agriculture labor work. They are letting them to go for labor work. So the agriculture laborer work is intact. So if that is also stopped, I'm 100% sure that because their wages get impacted, and we will not be able to get any sort of installment. But right now, so that activity is going on as usual. Because 99% of our borrowers, they get their income from two sources. One is agriculture wages, and two is the daily.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And lastly, ma'am, I just wanted to ask, you said all your branches are still open, while a lot of them would be following in regions where, there are these lockdowns. And our understanding is that given the banks and ATMs, the government has really classified that as essential commodities or essential business. We are using that and extending that logic to microfinance. And is that being done by the rest of the industry also?
No. Our branches are residential branches.
Mm-hmm.
So, because our branch means our staff stay in the branch, right? So even otherwise also, we cannot close down branch. So if somebody comes to the branch, our branch manager, our loan officers, all our branches are residential branches. Our staff stay in the branch. So closing down, it's not that we cannot close down completely. They cannot go anywhere. They stay in the branch.
Okay. But I think for the industry, that's not generally correct, right? Most of the other players would have separate branches, so they would be impacted.
They have commercial branches, but a few MFIs they follow this model. So, but all our branches are residential branches. Our staff stay in the branches.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
They live there.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Nitin Rao from Alpha Ideas. Please go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for communicating all the happenings in the industry. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Ma'am, I have 2 questions. One question is related. It may not be applicable in this currently stressful period, but the question is related to the credit collection cycle. Earlier we were on a 15-day cycle. Are there any plans to change to 30 days or anything like that? That's my first question. And the second question is related to funds. Some of our competition has been successful in raising funds from ESG sources at very cheap rates. And now in the West, when the rates have crashed so much, they can be an alternative source of funds for us. So any thoughts along those lines?
We already converted all our loan disbursements to monthly. So I think we did this 6 months ago. From 6 months ago, so 6 months ago means a day roughly. November. From 1st to November, all loans that we disbursed are of monthly. Any loan that is disbursed after 1st November, those loans have monthly repayment schedule. So as such today, so the portfolio is 6,900 crore. So 30% of 6,900 crore, which is 2,000 crore. So 2,000 crore portfolio has monthly repayment schedule, and 4,900 crore has a bi-weekly repayment schedule.
Ma'am, isn't it risky for an MFI to have monthly schedule as opposed to, let's say, a weekly or fortnightly?
It is 100%. There is no questions asked on this. And again, what is happening is, so it's gone are the days where you have 100% on-time repayment rate. Today, there is a competition. Markets are becoming very, very mature. And it's no more you have 100% on-time repayment rate. And you are not able to close. For example, in a monthly repayment cycle, for example, now we are doing collections from 2nd to 10th. So after 10th, there is no demand. So what I can do from 2nd to 10th, now I know that from 2nd to 10th, I have to collect all 30 lakh loans. So on 11th, I can get a report saying that, so out of 30 lakh loans, how many loans I am not able to collect. So if I get a report saying that some 50,000 loans are overdue, so from 11th onwards, it becomes easy for me to track out of 50,000. Today, I have recovered 5,000. So still 45,000 loans are overdue. So next day I can follow up that out of 45,000, how many loans are overdue? Okay, again I am able to recover today like another 5,000. So 40,000 loans are overdue. By month end I can track. But if I am doing weekly recovery, every day throughout the month, like because every day you have a demand. For example, today I am not able to recover like 5,000. Next day, if I am doing follow-up on those loans, next day again like you have fresh overdue loans getting added. It is next to impossible. And again, like what is happening is like every day the loan officer is going for recovery, and if there are fresh overdues, when he has new loans demand coming up, so he has absolutely no time to follow up on overdue loans. And overdue loans are completely ignored. And again, like whatever connect and whatever rapport that we are talking, it has no meaning. Because like the borrower, now as far as microfinance is concerned, she has 15 years of experience. She has seen so many cycles. She understands credit bureau. She knows everything. So in the current context, like because whatever weekly, bi-weekly has absolutely no meaning. And again, like look at the current crisis, right? Because like when you have 30 lakh, 40 lakh, 50 lakh borrowers, if you have to meet, and that too like if you have 20,000 staff, 15,000 staff, 15,000 staff meeting 50 lakh borrowers every week, it's just a humongous task. It's a nightmare. You just cannot manage. I think like because there is nothing else, like because every microfinance organization has to have monthly repayment schedule. If somebody is talking about frequent contact, connect, like because they are not able to manage their systems, they are not able to change their weekly to monthly, because like change management is very difficult for them. That is why like they are just talking about connect. They also know very well that like there is no meaning for connect and all, because it's next to impossible. There you cannot track. Look at NBFCs, right? Who follow monthly? Like it's easy, like because they track very quickly. You cannot be doing collections throughout the month. Today, our monthly branches, like few branches like that we started after November. So by 10th, like they have completed collections. Today, like they're happy, like because all their collections are done by 10th.
Correct. Ma'am, one more question is regarding, like one of our competitors was able to raise rupee-dominated debt from ESG funds. Any thoughts on that?
Sorry, one of the competitor is able to raise?
Rupee-dominated loans from ESG funds because our company fits into this ESG criteria very beautifully. And because the rates overseas are so low, we can get even rupee-dominated loans at a much cheaper rate at what we are borrowing from here.
Yeah, so we have, so first let me clarify that any borrowing from overseas is not at a rate which is lower than the rate at which we do assignment, PTC, or even for that matter, term loan transactions. Today, we are able to get assignment transactions at 8.5%, PTC at 9%, and term loans at 9.5%. But if we were to look at the landed cost of ECB or rupee-denominated bonds, these come to around 11 to 12%. Nevertheless, we wanted to diversify the borrowings. We already have 3 foreign lenders who have given us rupee-denominated debentures, and we are in the process of getting another large institution for a 700 crore facility who had given us an in-principle sanction. But in this market, the behavior, unfortunately, whether it is domestic or foreign lender, does not change. So even they have put this on hold purely because the yield expectations in the overseas markets have increased significantly. So we were supposed to do the transaction in March, but that lender has delayed that, and they would like to do it in April. And another lender who I've spoken to, which is a foreign lender again, they are also very cautious because they have a investor base which could pull out money at any point. So it is not very different from a behavior perspective, and from a cost perspective, it is only expensive. But we are on the path of diversifying our borrowing base, wherein a significant portion comes from foreign as well in the future.
Thank you. I would request Mr. Rao to join the queue for follow-up questions. The next question from the line of Ajay Sharma from Flowering Tree Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. First, can you just tell me how much equity do you have right now?
We have 2,800 crores. 2,800.
Okay. So, Padmita, we are shareholders. So please take my comments constructively. First of all, it's very early for you to do a call with investors. This is 2 days old, right? That's first, because it's a very dynamic situation. Secondly, on 6,900 crores of outstanding loans, you have almost 2,800 crores of equity. Even if the country is shut down for 2 months, and even if you can't say worst case collect 1,000 crores on your balance sheet, you're fine. So we'll not go out of business, right? So what I would urge you to do is assume that India is shut for 2 months. Because the epicenter, we invest in China as well. The epicenter of China, Wuhan, was shut down mid-Jan, and they've just started opening up, right? These are extraordinary times. People will first try to save their lives and then think of their livelihoods, right? So what you should ideally do is just a feedback as an investor. Assume that you do not collect at all, and this is not just for you, this is for the industry, because we invested with a lot of MFIs. If you do not collect at all for 2 months, and you may actually have to disburse a little more to keep your accounts and your customers basically running their day-to-day life, because their livelihoods will be at risk, right? So the first thing you should do is assume 2 months it's shut down. What do you do for 2 months? How do you still keep disbursing, if at all? Secondly, how do you get forbearance from RBI, which is for the industry? And third, how do you keep liquid and not have to repay these 50, 60 crores that are coming over the next 2 months? I think that is for you more important to do right now, honestly, than answering investor calls, because it's just 2 days old and the situation is very dynamic. And what we are seeing across Asia, especially China, because it's so uncertain, it could get worse for you. So don't look at day to day what's happening in one branch or who's beating whom up and so on. Assume 2 months India is shut down. What do you do for 2 months, and make those scenarios, and then make a business plan and work like that. It's just an honest feedback, and don't get panicky. You have enough equity to ride this through. Just a comment. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Harsh Agarwal from Infina Finance. Please go ahead.
Hi, ma'am. Thanks for the opportunity. Ma'am, just wanted to understand one of the comments you made earlier, that the collection efficiency was 99% until March 20th, and until yesterday it was 98.3. Is that correct?
No. Until 20th, it was correct. But yesterday we got 86%. I said yesterday we got 86%. Whatever is updated till now, but few branches the EOD is still not done. So yesterday, they were doing late collections, and again, even now the EOD is still pending. Again, this morning, again they went for collections without doing EOD. Yesterday, only yesterday. It is yesterday, one day.
Right. So, ma'am, in the initial part of your comment, you did mention the number 98.3%. So, what was that regarding?
So that is this month till 20th March.
Okay, till 20th March, the collection efficiency was 98.3%.
Yes.
Okay.
98.6. 98.6.
6%. Okay, sure.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sonia Lalwani from Purnartha Investment Advisors. Please go ahead. Hi, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. Actually, my questions have been answered, but just I need one clarification regarding the collection efficiency. So, 86%, is it OTR or is it cumulative?
No. Yesterday's OTR. Yesterday's OTR.
Yesterday's OTR. Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pranay Rajani from BNK Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi ma'am. Can you just, like you said, you have raised a few funds in your initial comments from HSBC, Mass, RBL, Standard Chartered and Bank of Baroda. Can you repeat the quantum once again of those funds raised?
Yeah.
So with HSBC, we raised 50 crores. With Mass, 110 crores. RBL was 50 crores. Standard Chartered was 25 and Bank of Baroda was 110 crores.
All right. Thank you so much.
So a total of 350 crores.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mayank Gulgulia from Star Union Dai-ichi Life Insurance. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. Just wanted to know, in this quarter, we have done any assignment so far?
Yes. So we have done assignment transactions in this quarter. So in January, we did about 530 crores with the SBI. This was part of the sanction that we received in December. And in February, we did another 250 crore assignment transaction with Bank of Maharashtra. And we are in the process of doing another transaction this month. So yes, we have done multiple transactions. In terms of quantum, this quarter would have the most volume of assignment transactions compared to the previous quarters.
So far 750 crore.
780 crores.
780 crore.
Okay.
So SBI and Bank of Maharashtra.
Okay.
So and out of 6,900 crore, what is the DA book? 1,500 is the DA book. PTC? 500 is the PTC. So out of 6,900 crore, 200 crore is the 2,000. 1,500 crore is the DA book and 500 crore is the PTC outstanding.
Okay. And we have raised multiple funds from different institutions. Have we availed a line of credit also?
Sorry, line of credit from CC. CC?
Yeah, line of credit from banks or some different institutions which you are not available, but line of credit is available to you.
No, we don't have.
Okay, and just wanted to confirm once more, 86% collection efficiency for yesterday. That is only for the amount which was due yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kashyap Javeri from MK Global. Please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. Just one question. In one of the opening questions, you mentioned that there are people are still willing to pay, but the staff has not been able to reach them, or they have not been able to reach the branches. So that primarily would then be based on only last 2 days experience, right? Because until last 2 days you had 98.6%.
Yes.
So what is should I?
Yeah, please.
So my question is that within last 2 days, this your inference is based on probably any behavioral traits that you have seen in the clients that probably your people are calling them and they are saying that we are still willing to pay but not able to reach. So what exactly is that confidence based on? That clients are still willing to pay but not able to reach you.
So clients are willing to pay is on the basis of 98.6% recovery till 20 years.
Okay.
So my statement to say that clients are willing to pay and clients are getting income. So they're going for the work because it is on the basis of my conversation with hundreds of employees. So my first question is in the rural, whether the activity is on, whether women are going for the work.
Okay.
All the villages, wherever there is a lockdown, so whether women are going for the work, 100% of the women, as usual, by 6:30 in the morning, they're going for the work because
Okay.
it's a peak season for the agriculture. So
Okay.
they're getting wages on time, because everybody is saying that it is unlike during demonetization, where the farmers did not get money because they didn't have money, but now that problem is not there. They're paying wages. And again, compared with last year, this year, per kg, what they're getting per chili, per kg what they're getting for cotton, and again, what they're getting for paddy. So it has significantly increased. The wages have gone up like anything. And again, the other thing, dairy, because all of us, though we are not getting newspapers, though we are not getting meats, though we are not getting bread, but we are getting milk. So our farmers, because they are getting their milk bills, because all our borrowers, they sell milk. So they have money. So as such, they don't have any pain in terms of their incomes are not impacted. So since we got 99% recovery till 20th March, so it is from that I am saying that because not even 1% of the borrowers they experienced any pain in terms of paying the installment.
Okay. Okay.
Why I am saying that there is a difficulty? So yesterday and today, at least hundreds of the staff they said that because some 15 staff they were not able to reach the branches in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, and again so many staff we are being harassed, we are being beaten because our parents are not allowing to go to work because we don't want to work, and particularly in West Bengal.
Right. And if I understand from what you have said, the only thing which could probably make you change your assessment is in case of demonetization, their wages, probably if they are held up, then that can make you change your assessment.
Because during demonetization, farmers because they didn't have money, they were not able to withdraw cash from the bank. Now
Okay.
farmers they were getting as much money that they want because they were able to go to bank and they were able to withdraw cash and they were paying wages.
Okay. Okay. Sure, ma'am.
Demonetization, the milk producers, our borrowers, their milk bills were not paid by the milk collection centers. That problem is not there now.
Sorry, can you come again on the last part?
During demonetization, all
Right.
our borrowers were the milk producers. So the milk collection centers, they were not paid. They were not paying the milk bills.
Okay. Okay.
So that problem is not there now.
Okay. 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 Sure, ma'am. That's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone who would like to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Kaitav Shah from Equirus. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having this call, ma'am. My question to you is related to the fact that trying to understand, have you done any scenario analysis of what will happen if there is a 1 or 2 months or 3 months shutdown, and what happens to your customer segment, which at least top down looks more vulnerable, but would love to get your views on it. So what is the scenario analysis that you're building in given COVID? Second, what is the business continuity plan that you all have in mind? These are the 2 questions that I have.
No, I think if there is a complete shutdown, if we are not allowed to go for collection, I think what we need is we need forbearance in terms of our repayments to banks. So if we get the forbearance in terms of our repayments to banks, So if there is a shutdown, like we are happy to resume work like after 2 months. I think like things will be usual like after 2 months. So we can apply like whatever repayment holiday like to our borrowers also for 2 months. But again, right now, like such a forbearance is not given by RBI or by banks to us. As such, like we are not able to give. And again, the other thing is right now, like there is no cash flow stress to our borrowers. Their cash flows are very much intact. And again, like because we are just exploring a mechanism by which like we can bring the installment from the borrower to our branch. So we are just exploring other possibilities.
Sure. Thank you. One last question. Apart from regulatory forbearance on NPA, is there any other expectation that we have from government?
It's not even forbearance on NPAs, like because whatever, like postponement, like because 3 months moratorium. So yeah. That's all. Yeah. So I think like MFIN is making a representation.
Sure. Thank you. That's it from me. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shreyans Agarwal from Exponential Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thank you. I think my question is already answered. So I'm good.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajiv Mehta from Yes Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking the question. My question is on liquidity. I mean, what will be the on-balance sheet liquidity at this point in time? Suresh, if you can answer this.
On-balance sheet liquidity.
Yeah. On the balance sheet right now?
Means?
So cash and equivalents, bank balances, unencumbered bank balances. So overall, what liquidity we are carrying on the balance sheet at this point in time?
So we have about 150 crore, which is sufficient for us to meet all the obligations that we have for the next 15-20 days, not considering the collections that we'll be getting for the next 10-15 days. But however, so like if we are allowed to continue the collections, we can meet all our obligations for the. So in any case, like we are very cautiously doing the disbursement. So while we are not doing so much of disbursement, so from the collections, we'll be happily meeting all the repayment obligations. So we don't have to really default our repayment obligations. The only thing that we need from the government is either like they have to give us forbearance or just allow us to do the collections in a normal way. They should do either of this.
And we can also raise liquidity by doing a DA transaction as well, right, if required?
Yeah.
Okay. So meeting obligations for the next 2 months, assuming a 2 months of shutdown and very low collection rate, should not be an issue, without a forbearance also?
Without a forbearance, like if we are allowed to do collections the way that we are doing, without much hindrance, yes, we can meet all the obligations.
Okay. And ma'am, you spoke about how you can try and drive a borrower from the group who can collect money from all the other borrowers in the group and come to your branch and pay. So, but I mean, the restrictions of movement of people will also apply to him. I think you partially answered this.
Like in rural, like there are not many restrictions. But however, like because you are allowed to go to grocery, you are allowed to go to a medical shop. What they allowed to make a movement. So I'm speaking from office. So I came to office. I'm coming to office every day.
Okay. And so far, as far as this lockdown situation is concerned or curfew situation is concerned, we have not, in our key states right now, say Orissa or Karnataka, Maharashtra, in the probably MP and Orissa, which are the top 2 states for us, we haven't seen much spread of this lockdown as well as this curfew in the rural belts where we are present out there, right?
Yeah, in rural, because again, you have how many doctors and how many police that we have and what is the population, right? You have 17 police per 1 lakh population, right? So if you have will and wish.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you. We'll take one last question from the line of Ajay Sharma from Flowering Tree Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, just one more feedback, Padmaja. The more and more I'm hearing is you do want to collect. Please assume you will not be able to collect. And the other thing is, at this point, you should even ask your employees to collect. You should not be putting their health at risk. Assume you cannot collect. And when you're asking for forbearance, the industry may have to do one more thing. They may need more liquidity from RBI to send more money to your customers. So that's something you may want to add because you may actually need more capital right now to keep the livelihoods of customers going. Just those two feedbacks. But please assume you will not be able to collect and preferably do not put your employees at risk. Thanks.
Sure.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Yadav from KJMC Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. My question has been answered.
Thank you. As there are no further questions from the participants, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anish Patel for closing comments.
Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us on this call. And thank you very much, management team of Spandana, for highlighting the impact of COVID-19 on the business. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of ICICI Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.